Man is cuffed and Thompson keeps guard while explaining the sad family story behind the scars on his arm. Another shura is organized, and this time only half the elders show up. The old men complain because they haven't received the money Keating promised, but Ulescas tells them he'll only pay after an investigation is done behind the pictures in the phone. In the evening, Muhammad comes back from the village saying that the Taliban are getting ready for a large-scale attack because the villages aren't happy over the lack of money. However, his warnings aren't taken seriously because he cries wolf every day. Later, Ulescas takes a team on another patrol. Muhammad keeps an ear on the radio to pick up any enemy talk, but he claims he can't understand certain dialects. When they make it to a bridge, Kirk and Carter cross first to make sure it's safe. Then Ulescas crosses with Younger just to be hit by an explosion in the middle of the bridge. Younger saves himself but Ulescas falls dead in the water. Blood lands on Younger's face and mouth, leaving him in shock. That night, the soldiers try to deal with their grief with some music. Romesha hears a noise and goes to investigate, only to find Ulescas trembling and mumbling to himself with a weapon in hand. While offering calming words, Romesha slowly removes the bullets from the weapon, then shares how he had to watch a close friend die because of a sniper. However, it's clear that the trauma has left Younger in a bad mental state, so when a helicopter comes by to pick Ulescas' body, Younger leaves as well. The chopper also brings the new leader Broward, who announces the outpost will be closed in July and tells the soldiers to concentrate on closing shop until then. The next day, the soldiers give Broward an Afghan ID they found near the bridge. They believe he is one of the workers from the hydroelectric plant, so they want to start searching the villages. Broward forbids it because it goes against the rules of engagement and reminds them to leave this for the investigating officer. All of Romesha's protests are ignored. Time passes while the soldiers do their best to stick to routine. Soon another attack from the mountain starts, and while the others fire back, Romesha calls Broward for backup. However, Broward asks for a positive weapon identification first. Scusi uses his binoculars to confirm it and a bunch of soldiers go out to help. After the attack is over, Broward talks about the rules of engagement again, pointing out they can't just shoot someone for acting suspicious and radio or weapon identification always comes first. Romesha tries protesting again since they clearly were under fire, but Broward doesn't want to waste any more ammo or make the relationship with the locals worse. In the end, Broward announces that since they're under pressure from the Afghan president, they won't leave in July. The soldiers will get a $1,000 raise, and if they're lucky they'll leave in October. The group obeys but dislikes Broward more every day, especially since he pees in bottles in his room and makes the soldiers take them out. Later during lunch, Carter approaches Bunderman to share the troops' dislike of Broward. The man only leaves his office to poop and all his rules clearly show he's scared, so it's hard for the group to take him seriously. However, Bunderman explains Broward has been in more battles than all of them and their duty is to obey. Soon it starts raining and Carter shivers in the cold while keeping guard and chatting with Gallegos on the radio about religion. That night some movement is seen on the mountains and suddenly an explosion happens in the distance. Broward allows the soldiers to shoot a mortar back as a warning and calls the wrong coordinates, but the team corrects him just in time and the mortar is fired without issues. In the morning they have a meeting to analyze the situation. If the insurgents were moving the mortars on foot that late, it means now they have night vision too, but they can't guess where these weapons came from. The meeting is interrupted by the arrival of the elders, who have brought a dead girl and accuse the Americans of doing it. The soldiers can tell the girl has been dead for days and the Taliban killed her on purpose to trick them, but Broward will pay them anyway to avoid trouble. The elder also reveals he knows the Americans are leaving, which was supposed to be classified information. Suddenly an elder yells in pain because the dog bit him, although it's unclear if he provoked the animal on purpose. Muhammad explains that getting bitten by a dog is extremely shameful in their culture and the elders demand retribution. Without hesitation, Broward kills the dog with a shot before scolding Scusa for keeping a pet during war. Sometime later the soldiers have fun by testing who can last longer in a waterboarding situation. They're interrupted by Broward, who announces he's been relieved of duty and a new captain will arrive in a couple of weeks. He also confirms they're officially closing this outpost in October 6th. Bunderman is left in charge until the new captain comes and he tells the others they're still allowed to talk to their families, but they can't tell them about October to avoid the information reaching